welcome to Vancouver City Council. It is Monday, November 3rd, 2025. This afternoon we had three workshops. We reviewed the street funding strategies and the accomplishments there. Then we took a look at the utilities capital improvement program, sewer, water, stormwater, etc. And then had an update on our strategic plan. We then went into executive session to discuss collective bargaining negotiations according to RCW 42.30.144, and no decisions were made in that particular issue. We are now in our regular meeting. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ms. Miller, please call the roll.
Councilman Corliss? Present. Perez?
Present.
Fox? Here. Paulson?
Here.
Stover? Hanson?
Present.
Mayor McInerney.
Present.
Move to excuse Councilmember Stover.
Second.
Seconded by Fox. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Councilors, we need a motion to amend the agenda. Item number 5 is not ready for a public hearing this evening, and we can explain that when we pull it. We would like to put it up in the consent agenda, rearrange the consent agenda. We'll make it number 4, and then claim vouchers will be number 5. But we'll go ahead and pull it, but we need a motion to amend the agenda.
Move to amend the agenda, moving ordinance authorizing 2026 rate adjustments for City of Vancouver garbage, recycling, and organics collection contract to the consent agenda as described by the mayor.
Thank you. Motion and seconded by Perez. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Councilor. And then that will come back as a public hearing. So, right now, we have 2 individuals that would like to come and chat with us in our community communications. Mary D. Paps, please.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm here to speak to item number 3, which is the Forged Fiber franchise agreement. My name is Mary D. Paps, 2728 North L Street in Washougal. And Forged Fiber 37 LLC is an AT&T entity. It's incorporated in Delaware and registered to do business in Washington State. You may have seen reporting earlier this year that AT&T has an agreement with Lumen Technologies to acquire a significant part of Lumen's fiber. And Lumen, you may recognize, was formerly CenturyLink, which was formerly Quest, and that's about as far back as I can remember as a Seahawk fan. And while the transaction is pending, on a nationwide basis, my group is helping AT&T secure the rights to be in the right-of-way of various cities and counties in Oregon and Washington, so that when the deal closes, it'll be legally present. And I'd like to thank Kerry Driscoll for all of his assistance. It was a pleasure to work with the city on this matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bruce Barnes.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. For the record, my name is Bruce Barnes. I'm here to speak on agenda item 5. I know you've made this for another evening, but I'm really concerned about raising price of garbage, especially for a corporation that makes billions of dollars. I mean, billions and billions of dollars. If you do a little research, you'll see that. Number 1, they're a monopoly. There's no other garbage company to go to. Number 2, this will lead to more garbage, like at Vancouver Lake, our Department of Natural Resources lands, our U.S. Forest Service lands, because the garbage prices go down through the roof. It's going to pass on to consumers, which if you're a rentee, it's going to drive your your rent up, which we're already talking about affordable housing, and that's just gonna make it more unaffordable. When you drive down the highways, you see bags of garbage everywhere now. That's just because people don't wanna pay the garbage bill, and they're dumping down here at the share house because the garbage dumpster has not been removed. Down at Portco, because the garbage dumpster is there all summer long. And it's very concerning to me that we want to, go to No Kings rallies for billionaires, and yet we're trying to make these people more billionaires instead of them working with the community. I think it's very unfortunate that the costs are not getting lowered instead of higher in the economy that we're in right now. I understand that businesses need to make money, but billions and billions of dollars, man, they can afford to keep their prices the way they are right now. That's pretty much all I've got to say about that. So thank you for your time.
I'll close the communications, bring it back to council. Councilors, there are a couple items here that need to be read into the record. Item number 2, an ordinance relating to management of the public rights of way, granting to Hyper Fiber of Washington LLC and its affiliates a non-exclusive and revocable franchise to install, operate, and maintain a telecommunications system in, on, over, upon, along, and across public ways of the city of Vancouver, establishing certain rights, duties, terms, and conditions with respect to the franchise and setting an effective date and conditions. Item number 3, an ordinance relating to management of the public rights of way, granting to Forge Fiber 37, a Delaware limited liability company, a non-exclusive and revocable franchise to install, operate, maintain a telecommunications system on, over, upon, along, and across public ways of the city of Vancouver, establishing certain duties, rights, terms, and conditions with respect to the franchise and setting an effective date and conditions. Grantee and city are sometimes collectively referred to as the parties. And then item number 5, old number 5, new number 4, an ordinance authorizing 2026 rate adjustments for City of Vancouver garbage recycling and organics collection contract, ordinance relating to rate setting for collection of solid waste, recyclable materials and organics, and amending certain sections of BMC 6.12 to increase or adjust 2026 rates and charges consistent with the approved utility user taxes and rates, and in accordance with current contracts, providing for savings, severability, and an effective date. Okay. So, counselors, we will be pulling new number 4. Are there any other items that you would like to pull? Item number 1. 5. And 5, which is new 5, the approval of claim vouchers. Okay? Any others? 1, 4, 5. You want old 5?
Old 5.
Yes.
What's the
Old
new
5
number?
is new 4. And we're pulling that. Thank you. So 1 and 4. Any other items? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve 2, 3, and 5.
Move to approve.
Perez, seconded by Paulson. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Aye.
Thank you, Hanson. Okay, item number 1, Arts Hub Roof and Chiller Repairs. Councilor Fox, go ahead.
Yes, when I was reading through this proposal for the staff report, it noted that this project would have, it said no impacts on the current residents, and it did expound upon it, and there was considerable public feedback about 6-7 months ago on this proposal, and so I just wanted staff to provide a little bit more details on the scheduling and how they've accommodated the current residents and tenants and users of the facility so that there aren't any impacts.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, council, for letting me speak. My name is Wyatt Jones, with the facilities department here at the city. So with this project, we talked a lot early on about impacts to the existing occupants, and we found a way to tackle these critical building deficiencies without relocating any of the Arts Hub folks. Reason for that, we got a couple of good things working for us. One is that the scope is entirely in back of house spaces or on the exterior of the building, so we won't have to move people around from room to room or anything like that. And then secondly, most of the activation of the space of the Arts Hub is actually done in the evenings and early afternoon, while construction happens in the morning to early afternoon. So 7 to 3:30 is our normal working hours, and then Arts Hub folks trickle in usually in the afternoon and evening. That being said, I'm not gonna lie and say that construction is gonna have no impacts. I don't think construction without impacts exists. But what we can do is to include the occupants in early and often communication and try to mitigate any impacts that we have to the greatest extent we can.
I did reach out to Christine Richardson, who's managing the facility for us as a contract, and just asked for her feedback on the proposal. I shared with the city manager her response, and now it's not coming up for me. Of course it isn't. But generally, it was really great news that she confirmed that she had been talking to staff, was really provided some positive feedback in the sense that since the time that they had brought several members of the community forward to us, that the communication between city staff and the facility has really improved. They felt pretty confident about the impacts and what they might look like to them. And so just thank you, staff and everyone who's been working with them to lessen their concerns and work towards a solution that sounds like it's going to work. So thank you.
Absolutely.
I don't have any other questions.
Thank you. Quick question. Lon, did we look at the Weber building for any possible use on those days and times when there would be an impact?
We looked at a number of different facilities, really anything that the city owned that could potentially be used for it. But in light of the fact that it didn't look like they needed to move, the Weber building would require some work in order to be able to recommission for use.
Okay. Got it. All right.
Mayor,
Yes, Councilor, go ahead.
just to add a comment, and Councilor Fox, appreciate your comments and reaching out to Christine to affirm her comfort level with this new approach. And I think it's important to remind ourselves that the original proposal, which was framed as inflexible, was that there was no alternative but to displace the occupant for a considerable amount of time. And there were concerns raised by large numbers of folks in the community who have been benefiting from that facility, primarily around the amount of community that's been created in that space and the amount of time and effort it's taken to build that community, the amount of trust and goodwill that's been built through that time, and how disruptive it would be to no longer have access to a facility for any period of time. And so I do commend staff and want to add my thanks and congratulations to everybody involved in finding a solution that won't displace the occupants of the building, or to the extent that they'll be impacted, it's mitigated to the greatest extent possible. I think that's a huge win, and it's an important sign to the arts community that we are supportive of them, we hear them, and we want to do everything we can to be supportive. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Wyatt.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion. Item number 1.
Move to approve item number 1.
Second.
Fox, and seconded by Paulson. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. We are now talking